All right. We are on. All right. We are live. So this is going to be very informal. Ask me some questions. Any question about the stock market? Who am I? I'm Joel, the stock market guru. Show more about the screen? I don't understand your question, Butter and Beats. $14? Oh, okay. Oh, the stock market screen. If you're a day trader or a stock market trader, you'll understand what this screen is. Just charts. You don't need to see my face. Is this close enough? All right, all right. Are y'all gonna ask questions about the stock market? Best tip for 2016? Well, I like Tesla. Let me turn this music down. If you're unfamiliar what Tesla is a stock. It's American made, and it's a car company that's growing, and it's all electric vehicles. We plan on owning one in like the next year or so. So if I do well in the stock market, you will see me driving a Tesla. Beginner's advice: if you want to get into the stock market, I suggest that you find a couple of companies that you know a lot about. So if you're on your, I see a lot of people that are on Facebook. So Facebook is a good stock to try out. Love that car. How much money can we start with? You can start with as little as $20. You just open up a stock account. I use Scotch Trade. I use Thinkorswim. You need a lot of money when you're day trading on Thinkorswim. I think you need about 3,500 bucks. But if you only have 50 or 100 and you just want to start out in the stock market, I suggest you go to E Trade or Scott Trade, and there's a couple of others. Just Google. Any other questions? What's the future? Futures. Once you get into trading, it's a little bit more advanced. Future trading, you're really using a little bit of money to control a lot. So I trade futures when I'm day trading, and I use about $4,000, and that $4,000 can make me anywhere. Well, I can lose or make up to $100 to $1,000 a day using 4,000 bucks. But you definitely need to practice. Future, Future is a rapper. Yeah, I like Future too. Any other questions about the stock market? About Future? Sierra, can I buy stock in Trump? Trump's company is not publicly traded. It's still a private company. What? No stock in Trump. In Trump? Nah, you can't buy Trump stock. I wouldn't suggest you buy any stock in Trump. Someone suggested penny stocks. What's that? Penny stocks. Penny stocks are stocks. They're pretty much like lottery tickets. So I wouldn't invest. Well, if you're gonna invest in penny stocks, I suggest you use an amount of money that you don't plan losing. But it is a lottery ticket, and I promise you, I have about 20 cannabis stocks because those are home run hitters. Last year, I think if you had invested about $100 in a lot of those cannabis stocks, I think you could have made over $100,000. So I have a couple that I bought and that I suggested for other people to buy, but for now, they're really low and they're losing money. But I would suggest that if you're gonna get into penny stocks, that you definitely use an amount of money that you don't plan losing. Any other questions? Can you buy stocks in sports teams? You definitely can. Madison Square Gardens is a good stock, MSG. There's not too many, but you can. If you want to buy into television stations like ESPN, Disney owns ESPN. Disney actually is one of my favorite stocks. They own ESPN and they own the Star Wars franchise, which, if you know me, I'm a Star Wars geek. Star Wars. Yeah, I already mentioned that. Do penny stocks cost a penny? Sometimes they can, but that's why they call them penny stocks. Anything under $3 a share is considered a penny stock. And the global market and hedge funds, they won't invest in stocks unless they're over $3. So anything under $3, they're usually on what they're called pink sheets. And anytime you see any stock that's on a pink sheet, a flag should go up because it's not regulated. And like I said, they're home run hitting stocks, but they can lose you a lot of money. How do I decide what stock to buy? Like I said, I would go with something that you're familiar with. I use Facebook a lot, so I own Facebook. I'm interested in Tesla. I wear Nike all the time, so I have Nike. I go to the movies a lot. I'm really invested in Disney stock. Netflix is a good stock. I'm constantly on Amazon, so I own Amazon. But I would always go with something. Don't ever go with a stock tip that you hear at the barbershop. Somebody may say, "Hey, buy this stock because it's going." I would go with something that you understand. When you first get Chipotle or shitpotle. Chipotle is actually a good stock. They're not going anywhere. Their stock is actually, I think their stock is like down 50%. So I actually bought some. I never owned Chipotle and I always wanted to get in. So I was kind of happy. I was kind of happy that the stock, dropped in price. Any other questions? How much should I buy? That depends on your risk tolerance. I wouldn't load the boat. Are you talking about Chipotle or now Chipotle is like a $500 a share stock. And what I mean by a share is anytime anybody talks about shares is one, like if you own a part of the company, one share is how much it costs. So if Chipotle share is $500, you need $500 to buy one share. You need $1,000 to buy two shares. If you own two shares and the stock goes up $2, then you are up $4 because you own two shares. If I have $100 today, what should I buy? Like I said, I would go with what you're comfortable with, 100 and your risk tolerance. If you don't mind losing it all, you can buy penny stocks. If you are conservative and you don't want and your risk tolerance is 10, 20, 30%, you may want to invest in like a Facebook. I believe it's under $100 share. What would I buy? Right now, I've been loading up on silver and gold because silver and gold was the first currency. and it's not going anywhere. And gold and silver right now, you can buy it probably 60% from where the high was. So I'm loading up on silver and gold and copper and palladium. The reason why I'm loading up on palladium is because from what I heard, they're going to have to use a lot of palladium in the electric vehicles. Is it possible to start with very little money and get Rick James level rich? Definitely. You gotta, you got, you gotta invest slow, and you gotta invest in what you know. Yeah, sometimes I just have to ignore some of the comments. Any other questions? Rick James, you guys are hilarious. I want the donut. You want the donut to handle this? Can teens do this? Oh, definitely. Teens should be doing it now. Um, Investing, guys, is not as hard as you think it is. So many people are they're so concerned with losing money. But if you invest in something, you're investing in it. Just like you invest in people, just like you invest in anything. You should always be investing. It's not optional anymore. It's essential. I know me, if I had $50, I would use it. I'll go to a nice golf course, or I'll spend it on a nice club. Why not buy you can buy Ferrari stock for less than $50 a share right now. Like, I'm an investor, I'm an owner in Ferrari, which is cool. That makes me cool. So, buy a couple of shares of companies that you like, and believe it or not, if they go up in price, you can sell them. Use that profit to go buy some of the things that you like to buy. I Back when I couldn't afford an iPad, I would buy Apple. When it was like $100 or $200 a share. And if it went up in price, the difference in price of the profit that I made, I would use that to go buy an iPad. So use the company to buy the devices that you want to use. Any other questions? You guys have some good questions today. You got. You don't know that a stock is gonna make you money. Like I said before, make the investment. Uh, if it's great if a stock goes up in price, but you have to make that investment. We made a lot of investments around the 2008 2009 period. And what was important was, when the real estate market crashed, we were still invested in a lot of companies. And when you invest in something, that's liquid cash. That's not a credit line. That's not money that I borrowed. That was liquid cash. So sometimes, if the market goes down in price and you need to have access to funds, those funds were there for us. Even though some of the stock had gone down 50 and 60%, we still had access to money. Whereas a lot of us live off of credit, and when the credit market closed, it was almost impossible for you to obtain anything. So always make an investment over time, and believe me, over time that stock will probably go up in price. Can you share your financials, please? No. What are some good news sources to keep up with my stocks? Well, I watch CNBC all the time. I watch Kramer. Kramer makes the stock market a lot more interesting. Uh, the apps, all any of the apps that you have right now, there's all they come on the front page with a stock chart. Put in stocks that you're interested in and watch them. But CNBC, CNN, Bloomberg. What if I don't have the time to day trade? Can I still make money? You got to make the time. Now, okay, I see that you said day trade. I am a day trader and I'm a stock trader. What is the difference? The difference is, when you're investing in stock, you want to invest in a 3 month, a 6 month, or 10-year period. When you're day trading, You're actually buying a stock that day, and you're looking for the price to go up or down, and you're trying to make a profit that day. So you're basically in and out of the stock the same day. If you don't have the time to day trade, then I would not suggest day trading. But everybody has time to invest in stock. You do. Now the stock market is open. Well, the American stock market is open from 9:30 to 4 o'clock every day. So there are ways that you can buy stock at certain prices. You can even set it up on your, like I said, on your Scott Trade account or your E Trade account. You can definitely, like, let's say you wanted to buy a stock at a certain price. You can put an order in and says, when this particular stock gets to this particular price, purchase it, and I want to purchase this many shares. The same thing if the stock is going to drop, $5 or $10 or whatever your risk to reward ratio is, or wherever your stop is, you can also set it up to stop if it drops to a price that you're uncomfortable with. And I love when that happens, especially like what happened with Chipotle. Most of the hedge funds had stop losses set that said if Chipotle ever gets to a certain price, I want you to sell all the shares. And that's called panic trading. And when panic trading occurs, most of the time the hedge fund won't even know that it's happening. And the stock will just fall. And while it's falling, I'm purchasing it, because when everybody is in panic mode, everyone is gonna sell the stock. So Chipotle is actually a safe option right now, because anybody that was scared to own it, they're out of it. And the only way that it can go up is, the only way that it can go is up now. So it's definitely one of my favorites right now. What stocks did you trade today? Unfortunately, I didn't trade today. Um, I looked at a basket of stocks that I own, and I'm up, I think, maybe a 0.5%. But I didn't trade today. I should have. No problem. Is 0.5% good? It's good for me. It's up to you. Like I said, everyone has their own risk tolerance. What I mean by risk tolerance, meaning some people look to make 20% return on a stock. Some people look to make 100% return on a stock. What I usually like to do is, if I'm buying a stock, what I like to do is I actually like the stock to fall immediately. So like, let's say I wanted to buy $100 worth of a stock. The first thing I would do is I wouldn't buy $100 immediately. If I know that I'm gonna buy $100 worth of a stock, I'll buy $25 first, and then I'll see if it falls. If it falls, I'll buy another $25. And as it keeps falling, I keep buying stock until I'm fully invested, which is my $100. And then what I would like to do is, when that stock turns 100% return, whether it's 2 months, 3 months, a year, then I'll sell half the shares that I own. And then I invest that profit into something else. When I'm day trading, my stop loss is usually about 2.5 to 5% of whatever futures I'm trading that particular day. Even if I'm trading stock, my maximum is a 2.5%. It's 2.5%, which is a stop loss. If I'm in a trade and if I'm using $4,000, if I'm using $4,000, I'm trying to do the numbers in my head. My stop loss would be around $800. Actually, that might be wrong, but whatever. I'll check the numbers later. What does a stop loss mean? A stop loss is the amount of money that you are willing to lose. So when I'm day trading, I don't like, if I'm buying one contract. In the futures market, it's called a contract. In the stock market, it's called a share. So if I owned one share of Apple, that would roughly be about $110. Now, when you're trading futures, it's a lot more. So if I wanted one contract, and I like to trade the Russell, and I like to trade the Dow, which is the YM. The YM is about $4,200 a contract. Now that contract can move up or down I think it moves up or down $5 per tick. So when I'm buying one contract of the YM, my maximum stop loss is $100. So when I'm losing $100, I get out the trade. And my risk to reward is 5 to 1. So if I'm willing to lose $100, my target price is $500. So every trade that I take with one contract of the YM, I'm looking to make $500 with a $100 stop loss. Why do I do that? Because I can lose 5 times and I can win 1 time and I'll still break even. So if you notice, I don't have to win. I can win less than 50% of the time and I'm still going to profit. And that's how I like to trade. Now, everybody has their different way of trading, but that's how I like to trade. All right. Well, no problem. How did I get into trading? To be honest, a couple of friends, well, I was in real estate. I was in real estate at first and I was doing well. And we all saw that the real estate market was about to crash. And I had a couple of friends that were older, that were investors and everything. And they basically told me about the rotation of money and how it starts with the stock market. And, most of the people make their money from their 401ks. And when they have a lot of money and they decide they want to retire, they start to buy any and everything that they see. And that's what happened when the baby boomers decided to retire. They started buying boats. They started buying real estate. They didn't care what price it was, to the point where it inflated. And then once their money goes once they had money in the stock market or received money from the stock market, they rotated that money into real estate. And then, when they rotated into real estate, the real estate market folds. And then it's just a cycle that goes around and around. So they told me what exactly was about to happen. They said that the real estate market was going to crash. Everybody was going to move their money over into the stock market. And then once they made their money from the stock market, they were going to rotate their money into art and cars. And if you notice, the art market has gone through the roof. Ferraris are at an all-time high, and it's going to rotate again. And if you know the rotation, then you can always follow money. Can I send you some real estate leads? Definitely, definitely. Send me your information. All right, I am signing off. Tune in every day at 12 o'clock. Question and answers. Back to my theme music. How do I sign out?